Tiger 9 or locally at 334-887-3401 on our new Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. Auburn Opelika Tourism has come on board as a sponsor, and we appreciate all that they do for the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and we appreciate them supporting SportsCall. So from now on, when you call in, you'll be calling in on the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. We'd love for you to be a part of the program. You can check us out on our Facebook page. You can check us out. Just send us a tweet at SportsCall AU. We appreciate all of you tuning us in this afternoon. Got a great show planned for you. Jason Caldwell will be with us at 4:30 for our Insider Report to kind of catch up on everything in Auburn Athletics and talk certainly a lot about this upcoming game Thursday night between Auburn and Kansas State. And then we'll welcome in Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, at 5:30. So you certainly don't want to miss that. Sports Call today brought to you by Always Money. Always Money offers title loans, cash advance loans, Western Union services, and they buy your gold. Visit one of their many convenient locations or visit them on the web at alwaysmoney.com. Always Money. Easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. Randy, a busy weekend in college athletics. Obviously, a lot of games. Certainly, we prepped and talked about last week going into the week. I know me and you had a conversation, I guess it was Thursday in the first hour, talking about which game we felt most comfortable with. I gave the expert analysis that I felt very comfortable about Georgia covering the spread, the 5.5, 6 points, and as usual, I was dead wrong.
Well, and myself, I've got to say, we talked about this on the Saturday Sports Countdown, Luke Robinson and I wasn't sold on Georgia. Haven't been sold on Georgia all year. New quarterback, Hudson Mason. How does he play? He actually played pretty good. But the defense, I think, was the big question mark for Georgia. They looked so good against Clemson. Jeremy Pruitt led defense for Georgia. Were they going to turn the corner? Didn't look like it as South Carolina found some weaknesses, especially in the middle of that Georgia defense throwing the football. Dylan Thompson had an outstanding night. Mike Davis had a good night. Their backup running back was surprisingly as good as Mike Davis to me. South Carolina just has a way with Steve Spurrier of upsetting you. They find weaknesses in your defense, and Steve Spurrier does as good a job as anyone out there. Let's quickly go to the phone lines. I know we're going to have a bunch of phone calls today, so let's go back now. Michael in Auburn, you're on Sports.
Hey, guys, I was just going to comment about the Kansas State game. Just for Auburn, I think this is a big kind of it's kind of a program tester game in a sense. The streak of non-conference away game losses goes back to 97, and I'm hoping that streak comes to an end. I really think the defensive line for Auburn is going to be the key and stopping. They like to spread it out, and I watched that quarterback, run a quarterback keeper against. I watched most of the Iowa State game, and I think if we bring Gabe Wright and Montravius Adams back in the inside, I think we got a better shot. I think that's where they need to play. I think that's who needs to be in the middle. And I'm just kind of wanting to get you guys' take on kind of the it's not being talked about as much as a streak. And do you think this is kind of a program building game to get us over that hump and get us where we need to be?
Michael, we appreciate the phone call, buddy, and it's a very much a program-building game going into the season. Andy, it's been quite a while since we reeled off 2 consecutive 10-win seasons back-to-back since the late 80s. That's what you and I wanted to see moving into the season. I think Thursday night goes a long way to doing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a program builder. I'm not sure. I think Auburn's well established as a program, but certainly to get off the hump, we have not played well on the road out of conference, and that is a streak that definitely needs to come to an end. You're seeing you've seen so many records broken, so many things that you have never seen before since Gus Malzahn has been at Auburn, as whether that be offensive coordinator or that be head coach, and certainly this would be another one of those things that we would love to see change. I think that you're going to see Auburn very prepared. Obviously, they've had an off week. Kansas State has had an off week as well. So no doubt there'll be interesting wrinkles thrown in. It just being game 3. You haven't seen a lot from either team, but I'm very impressed with Jake Waters. This Kansas State team is very balanced. They run for about 230 yards a game. They throw for about 240 yards a game. He is definitely very athletic, a senior guy. He's been around. He's got a lot of experience. And you watched last week, Auburn was burned a little bit with the quarterback, simply the quarterback draw. And I like what Michael said, and that's an interesting thing we've seen. You know, all we talked about in the early was Montrevious Adams and Gabe Wright moving outside. 3 games into the season, we're moving them back inside because we think that's the best. Maybe it's Devontae Lambert has stepped up. Maybe Elijah Daniel, we feel a lot more comfortable with him out there. Ladarius Owens, we feel more comfortable with those guys on the edge. But we want to get our best 4 on the field at the same time.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Love to hear from you out there as we're talking Auburn and Kansas State as we will leading in to the Thursday night broadcast. Nationally televised. You want to make a statement here in the early part of the season, Andy, it's the time to do it here on Thursday night.
No doubt about it. You're the game of the week. You're the game of the night, certainly. The marquee game. Everybody in the country will be watching that game to see the number 5 team in the country. Are they living up to expectation? We've heard some people say that maybe Auburn is not getting a lot of respect, but you're number 5 in the country. Maybe they're the only team, I think, in the top, at least they were last week, in the top 7 that didn't have one single first-place vote. People say, well, that's, obviously Auburn's being disrespected. Well, I don't buy into that. I like the fact that if you can fly under the radar at number 5 in the country, Auburn has found a way to do it. But Kansas State is a good team. On a Thursday night out in Manhattan will be the stadium only hosts 50,000, but it'll be a raucous crowd. It'll be a very good environment for college football. So this is an opportunity. Like I said, I don't believe this is program builder, but this is an opportunity for Auburn to go out and prove to the country, hey, we're one of the 3 best teams in the country. We're the best team in the country.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Brett in Ellick City, you're on Sports.
What's going on, guys?
Good to hear from you, Brett.
Hey, I just wanted to bring something up, Randy, you and I talked about probably 2 years ago, I guess now. You said that, I won't ever forget, you said that, who would you rather have, Gus Malzahn, Nick Saban, or Les Miles? And you felt like at the time, if we had the comparable players, the athletes, you take Gus Malzahn with his innovation. Guys, for the first time since I've been an Auburn fan in growing up, I don't worry about Auburn going out on the road or playing at home against a tough opponent. I think we talked about it on the show a couple of weeks ago. I don't ever get worried about Auburn laying an egg. When Tommy Tobler was there, we played out of our minds against teams we weren't supposed to beat, and then we come lay an egg against the team we were supposed to beat by 20. And I don't have that concern. What do y'all think? I mean, do y'all feel the same way I do?
I feel as confident as I've ever felt with the coaching staff and the players on board that we do in Auburn. I brought that up to Andy leading into the program. I said, Andy, is that a good thing? Andy said, normally when I feel that way, that is a good thing. So I'll let you expand on that, Andy.
Yeah, I just felt people have talked about this game now being a trap game. They've talked about it being a dangerous game for Auburn. And I've looked at this game since the schedule came out, and I haven't had a lot of worry about it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm cocky about it, but I'm confident. I'm like you. Gus Malzahn has I've seen enough for him to instill the confidence in me that I know for a fact that Auburn has the better players. I know for a fact that Auburn is overall the better team. Therefore, I feel very confident that Auburn will win this game, because they are the better team. You don't really worry that we're going to underachieve like you have in the past. So Gus Malzahn will have to prove me wrong for thinking that, because he certainly has instilled that confidence in me.
Well, and I don't think it's cocky, because I don't think Auburn fans have ever been in a place where they feel like this. But, it's a good comfort feeling. I mean, I hate to use this comparison, but it's almost like Alabama with Nick Saban. You know that it's almost a near impossibility you're going to get blown out. You may lose the game, but you're not going to get blown out, and it's not going to be because you did anything to beat yourself. It's going to be more than likely that other team stepped up and just played their tail off to win the game. And I think that's where Auburn is now as a program. I think after Thursday night, guys, Auburn's going to get more chatter and more talk around the nation. I think everybody's just kind of been sitting back waiting. I think that's why they don't have the first place vote that you see. Texas A&M sitting at 7 even has a first place vote, but you don't even you don't see Auburn at number 5 even with 1 because I think people are waiting to see this Thursday performance. I think if Auburn goes out, scores 40-plus points, holds Kansas State. Now, here's a stat for you guys. Auburn has only given up 3 points in the second half all year. Now, I know we've only played 2 games, but going back to last year, Auburn averaged only giving up 11.2 points per game in the second half. So making great adjustments. Ellis Johnson finds a way to shut teams down in the second half. I think Auburn wins by 17 points before it's all said and done.
Love to hear from you out there. Thanks, Brett, for the phone call. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Is the money on Kansas State? Is the line dropping? I've seen the line as low as 8.5.
What did it open? I thought it opened at 7. And
maybe it did. So I'm off. I'm not the gambler out there. So I did.
I'm not.
If you were, so maybe I bring this question up, and maybe this is showing how confident and how scary that may be for us Auburn fans. Where would you open this line, you as an Auburn fan leading into the season?
I would open it at 10.
Okay.
I feel like that's you give Kansas State the respect that they deserve, being a quality program, but I think Auburn is number 5 in the country for a reason because I think they are that good. I think they're sound in every category, and they've traveled well on the road last year, so. I think that they're at least 10 points better than Kansas State.
Let's just take into account that all you Auburn fans, and we talk to a lot of you, very knowledgeable about football. Which part of Kansas State is our question of the day? Which part of this Kansas State offense or team as a whole gives you the greatest concern leading into the game on Thursday night? That's our question of the day. Is it the running quarterback? I'll say that. That's for me. Watching Auburn play Mississippi State last year, Dak Prescott, it was his coming out party, I would call it, against Auburn. Last year, at least for me as an Auburn fan, it was. He was very successful running the ball between the tackles against this Auburn defense. Hopefully we'll have that corrected, but, Andy, that's where I point to begin with.
Yeah, Jake Waters not only leads the team in passing, leads the team in rushing. He has carried about 37 times this year for this Kansas State team. He's a productive player on both sides, and definitely that does concern me.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Ed in Auburn, you're on SportsCall.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Good, Ed.
Yeah, the line opened up, or didn't open up, but as of last week, about Wednesday, it was 6.5.
Okay.
And it went up 7, 7.5. It went all the way up to 9, and y'all just told me it went to 10. I didn't know that it went that high.
No, I think it's at 8.5 the last I saw it, Ed.
I said I'd put it at 10.
So it's dropped. Yeah, so it's dropped a little bit. I think before the season it was around 10.
Okay.
But as far as what concerns me, the running quarterback or any offense, I'm still very, 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 very concerned about our defensive line, our defensive ends, and it was obvious to me watching the last game that Casanova was absolutely gassed toward the end of the game, and yet Ellis Johnson still didn't put Trey Williams or somebody in there to give him some help. And I love our coaching staff overall, but when you finish 12th in the SEC, you can't say that, we've got our coaching staff all. I love Garner. I love Harbison Smith. But as far as Ellis Johnson leading the whole thing, I'm just not sold. And when you finish 12th in the SEC, I don't think you can argue with me that we've got good players. But when you finish 12th in the S out of 14, you can't say that our defensive coordinator has it all together. And I don't like our rotation at linebacker, who he's over. Effectively, it's been no rotation. It's been Chris Frost and Casanova, and Trey Williams needs to get some snaps. Those players need to get some relief during the game so that they're not going to be out there tired and playing and get hurt. And I like Ellis Johnson too. I'm not coming on here bashing him. I'm just saying, we have got to show some improvement in the defensive line, and then linebacker play. We just have to, or teams that are coming up are just going to have a dadgum field day with us. I appreciate y'all taking my call, and War Eagle.
Good to hear from you, War Eagle, to you, Ed, and we appreciate all of our phone calls. Up against a break, Shadow, hold on. We'll start up the next segment with you.
Definitely. Going to go ahead and take our first break. Like I say, we'll continue to talk about this Auburn-Kansas State game upcoming, talk about some of the other games that happened over the weekend. Jason Caldwell joins us at 4:30 on the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. Be sure to join us in the next segment. More Sports Call to come, presented by Always Money.
Tiger Rags is proud to announce their exclusive new line of officially licensed Auburn University apparel. Albee & Company. Created in Auburn, made in Auburn, uniquely Auburn. Just like our very own Albee. With every Albee & Company purchase you make, Tiger Rags donates a portion of the proceeds to the Albee Fund. Check out all the cool Albee & Company apparel at tigerrags.com or come to the store at 138 South Gay Street and get lost in everything uniquely Auburn. The home of Auburn's favorite game day and everyday Tiger apparel, Tiger Rags. Spirit begins here.
If you're like me, life begins where the paved road ends. America was founded on dreams of land ownership. Just you, the dirt, your imagination, and the sweat of your brow to create your own piece of paradise. We love making dreams come true at First South Farm Credit. We can custom tailor a loan for you with great rates and terms up to 25 years. Come see me, Taylor Hard, on South College Street in Auburn. Visit our website at firstsouthland.com or give us a call at 826-LAND, 826-LAND. First South Farm Credit. We finance land, farms, and dreams.
Gotta get the Gills Auto Sales. If finance, you got to get the Gills. Been asking for lowdowns, all I'm here to say. Gills, Phoenix, any Walmart. Have them on the way. Everything on the lot is $4.99 down. Gills price and selection is the best around. That low down payment gets you on your way. $4.99 down, you'll be riding today. Gotta get the Gills Auto Sales. If finance, you got to get the Gills. Selection and price. Got to get the Gills. Gotta get the Gills.
It's on.
If you're heading to a party, having a party, or on your way home from a party, TK's convenience stores are guaranteed to have everything you need. Drinks, chips, and a case or two of your favorite cold refreshments should do the trick, right? You don't need to take time out of your nights or weekends to find a parking spot, locate what you need, and then wait in line forever. TK's believes fun should happen much more quickly. Not to mention, you can fill up your tank while you're there, too. TK's convenience stores, always there when you need us.
Auburn Links is your home for great golf. Just off exit 51, Auburn Links features a beautiful layout with Bermuda grass greens and rolling fairways, all right next to Ferguson's Mill Creek. For the last 20 years, Auburn Links has been providing Lee County with the best golfing experience around whatever your skill level may be. Looking for a fun family activity? Auburn Links has great group rates and membership specials for everyone, and their weekday rates now include Fridays. Be sure to follow Auburn Links on Facebook and Twitter for special deals and limited Auburn Links on Shell Tumor Parkway. Call 887-5151.
When you have an event to be catered, bread complete with heat and serve sides, sauces, and gourmet bread. Honey Baked Ham makes any. Get piled high platters of sandwiches, salads, meats, and don't forget about dessert. Honey Baked Ham on Gateway Drive in Opelika. Make 741-8411 today and make your get-together a party with Honey Baked Ham. At Fitness Together, we know you have it in you, and we want to help get you there. How? Work one-on-one with a personal trainer, or try small group pec training. Your individualized program at Fitness Together includes cardio, resistance training, and nutritional guidelines. A recipe for success. Whether your goal is to run a 5K, drop down a size or two, or walk all 18 holes on the golf course, Fitness Together's expert staff can help you make it happen. Come by their all-new state-of-the-art location at the corner of Ogletree and Moore's Mill, or find them online at fitnesstogether.com. Get fit together at Fitness Together.
Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more on a land trip or cruise. Contact Ruta Lisa Anderson at Cruise Planners today. Why do the planning when it can be done for you? Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call 844-722-6342.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free, or locally at 334-887-3401. Let's go right back to the AO Tourism Hotline.
Shadow in Auburn, you're on Sports Call.
Yes, and thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to have a few viewpoints and see what you think. As far as the biggest thing that I'm concerned with about Auburn, it is what has been a pattern of weakness now for years, and it is the secondary. I know there's other weaknesses. I think they have been mentioned, but your schedule now, because of Auburn, and I don't really know what we can do about it at this point, but our schedule is going to be so strong that it's going to be difficult for us to get experience. You're going to have 12 to 15 plays, it seems, ever since our defensive coordinator's been here, that we have busted or we just can't seem to get a handle on. We're coming up against competition now that's going to equal defeat in more than one case. And as far as their offense, it's the best in history. That's the way I feel about it. Your defense is not close. They're not close. I like our team. I like our coaches, just like your previous caller said. But we've got to step up to the plate and get pressure, and we've got to tackle better. And but I wanted to see, where do you feel like I'm wrong?
Well, I think they're closer than you might indicate. I go back to last year. This same defense, which is a young defense under a new defensive coordinator, gave up almost 500 yards of offense to Washington State. They gave up about 430 yards of offense to Arkansas State. And now look at them this year, and we're averaging, giving up 320 total yards. I think the jury is still out. I agree with you that there's too many busts in the secondary. That's unacceptable at San Jose State, a 75-yard touchdown pass. You can't let that happen. And certainly we're going to see better teams. But I think this defense isn't quite as bad, maybe as we're talking about here. And I think year number 2 in the Ellis Johnson defense, certainly things you would figure when we look back at it, maybe it will be better overall.
Well, when we do look back at it, and I appreciate you taking my call and listening to me, but I think that when we look back at it, we're going to see, first off, that this competition that we have just had is the weakest on our schedule. And when you go back and look at Gus Malzahn, even as an offensive coordinator and then as a coach, there is no other conclusion that you can come to with this team except the fact that the offense is just out and out outscoring the other team. When is the last time the defense saved a game at Auburn? Thank you.
It's a good question, Shadow, and there has been a while since we have seen an Auburn defense that maybe we grew up with and maybe we have grown to love over the years, a very physical defense back in the 80s, and maybe we don't see that anymore in today's environment. But the beauty of what Andy's saying to me is it does look better than it did the first part of last year, so you do have to lay your hat on that. And what does this defensive front do? That's the reason our question of the day, which part of Kansas State's team concerns you the most leading into the game Thursday night? Sounds like everybody's a little more concerned, of course, with their offense keeping up with our offense, and would be more of a 41-38 type of game for Kansas State to win this thing, which tells you if you're a betting man, you may want to go with over. But as Auburn, Arkansas looked pretty good Saturday. And Auburn in the second half of play, about as good as we could look against a team that I really do believe Arkansas is going to be much improved this year.
Oh, I don't have any doubt about it. If they go out and beat Northern Illinois, which they should do, and continue to run the ball like they are now, when they get into SEC play, it'll be a lot different. It'll be interesting to see how well they can keep this momentum going. But Arkansas is a very much improved team, and they run the ball. Right now, like I said, you have to kind of wait and see. I mean, we're kind of looking at this through a very narrow focus right now, but looking back on it, at the end of the year, we may say that giving up 154 yards rushing to Arkansas was outstanding for this Auburn team, because they may run over a lot more people before it's all said and done. So I sat there, against San Jose State, and I felt like the defense did not play very well at all. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, we're giving up a whole lot less yards than we have in the last 4 or 5 years. That's a good thing. That's a good start. Ed brings up a good point, though, about the linebacker rotation. We're not rotating a lot. We're playing 2 linebackers pretty much the whole game. Now, is that because they don't feel comfortable enough to put those other guys in the game? Is that because McKenzie and Frost are playing that much better this year? Well, Casanova's leading the team in tackles, so he's obviously playing pretty well.
Rushing yards per game, SEC leaders, when you go back and you say what we gave up to Arkansas, Arkansas is the #1 rushing team in the SEC currently, Auburn 2nd, Georgia 3rd, Alabama 4th. Surprised to see that number. As I look down, I guess Arkansas
Well, they ran for about 500 against Nicholls State.
Well, it needed it.
And then they ran for about 450 against Texas Tech. So that'll help your numbers.
But that Texas Tech game still, that's no pansy, that's no pushover. And for them to run the football the way that they did, 300-plus more yards than they ran against Auburn, especially in the second half. That you still have to point back. The first half, 21 points, tied up, going in. We have 250 yards passing. Catch them off guard there. Jeremy Johnson looks outstanding, but our defense, boy, going into halftime, I said, this is going to be a scary. We're going to have to outscore everybody that we play. But I think that is the hope of us Auburn fans, is that Ellis Johnson is turning the corner, and some of these players are turning the corner. Another big question mark, I don't know if we'll see it as much in this game. Jake Waters has thrown for 462 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, has run for almost 200 yards. Also, that's about 100 yards per game and leading the team, 4 touchdowns there. So not as much of a passing team as they are a running team here, even though they're, I would say, at the first part of the season, if they were much more of a passing team, you'd see more from Jake Waters. But pressure from the defensive end with D Ford gone. Who takes up that slack with Carl Lawson out this year so far? What are your thoughts there, Andy?
Well, I like to see the 4 sacks against San Jose State. Certainly that was much better to see than it seemed like we got no pressure against Arkansas. And a lot of that pressure came up from the middle. And I think that's another reason you're seeing Montravius Adams and Gabe Wright move back to the interior, because they can get pressure from that 3 technique down there in the interior of the defensive line. I think that Devontae Lambert is only going to get better as the year goes along. It's just going to take him. It's kind of like Ben Bradley. It's going to take him a couple of games to really get used to playing in SEC and what's demanded of him. But I look for Ladarius Owens. He has got to be a guy that steps up. He has got the talent to be a good pass rush in the SEC. And if he doesn't show up for the rest of the year, it may, that's going to hurt Auburn. And they, hopefully maybe Carl Lawson will be back for LSU. Maybe he won't, maybe he will, but we don't want him to come back too soon. So.
Jason Caldwell up next, and maybe he can answer a few of these questions for us, and we'll take your phone calls on the opposite side, 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401.
More Sports Call on the way right after this.
Ever wondered what LNG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LNG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pass, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
At Reinhardt Prattville on 2154 Cobbs Ford Road, we have over 300 used vehicles in stock. Sedans, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, imports, and domestics. We're proud to be celebrating 10 years in Prattville. Come by and see managers Donnie Crozier or Skip Lathan and get your best deal on a used vehicle. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville, where we sell to sell again.
When you change the life of a man, you change an entire family. The Reprieve helps men with alcohol and drug problems that have had multiple treatment attempts. The Reprieve is a Bradford Health Services innovative recovery program. The year-long Reprieve offers testing, evaluation, and mentoring for employment, guides men through the 12 steps, and provides life skills training for balanced, healthy living. Get a Reprieve on life at 256-496-0406.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Tatum Lawn Care wants to help you add value and beauty to your home or business, and they want to save you money in the process. Tatum Lawn Care offers affordable lawn care and landscaping services to residents in the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Services include tree maintenance, planting, pruning, edging, blowing, mulching, leaf removal, spring and fall cleanups, and more. For an estimate, call Tatum Lawn Care at 256-329-6102. That's 256-329-6102.
The Southern Tales collection isn't just an expression of class, it's an Auburn way of life. Whether it's a long day on the lake with your closest friends or cheering for the best team in the SEC, we aim to provide comfortable, quality clothing fit for any occasion. God, family, and football are the three things we hold closest, and we hope to share these things through our product we love the most, our Auburn family. SouthernTalesCollection.com. Southern Tales, not just an expression of class, an Auburn way of life.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Here's to a one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is a proud sponsor of the college football playoff. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy Graham here with you, taking you up to 6 o'clock. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You can give us a call at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on our Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. And right now we're going to go to that Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline and welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell from inside the Auburn Tigers. Hey, Jason, how's it going today?
Doing good, Andy. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. You getting ready to head out to Manhattan to the Little Apple?
Yeah, heading out tomorrow and looking forward to getting out there. Hopefully the weather will hold up and should be a pretty exciting atmosphere and an interesting matchup. Not one you get to see a whole lot. So some new names, new faces. Not many guys that cross paths with Auburn recruiting in the past 4 or 5 years. So looking forward to seeing how this one shapes up.
What's the team schedule like for today, tomorrow?
Just kind of a short walk through to kind of finish up some things today. Travel out tomorrow and do a walkthrough in the stadium and kind of familiarize themselves with that. And then it's game day, so pretty much as an old school coach goes, Hayes in the barn right now. So just kind of put the finishing touches on it. That's about it.
Now, are you going to fly out there? Or are you driving?
We're flying. A too much of a drive. You know, they had a couple extra days. I would like to get on back, so we're actually flying out.
Well, that's good. Well, y'all be careful, okay? The Sammy Coates injury, can you update us on that? Does he look good for 100% against Kansas State?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, I really think, had Auburn been playing an SEC opponent a couple of weeks ago or San Jose State, the team would have been playing then. I think they just decided, you know what, let's don't push this thing, just tweaked a little bit. So decided to hold him out last week. He's had a couple of weeks to get ready and to heal. So I think he should be fine and ready to go.
Jason, you know, the bye week is kind of an interesting thing. It seems like sometimes it helps teams and sometimes it hurts teams. Gus Malzahn last year handled it beautifully. You saw that he kind of experimented early in the season and then took that bye week before the Ole Miss game and really streamlined the offense and figured out what they could do that would really benefit them moving forward. How do you go about making sure that the bye week helps you and doesn't hurt you?
I think it's just a matter of what your focus is. Gus Malzahn, and he's preached really since the start of last season that the focus is on getting better and improving from day to day. And because of that, I think that the bye week helps them because they have some things to iron out, some wrinkles to fix, and I think because of that, it keeps them moving forward. That's the tough thing. If you use a bye week to rest, late in the season, then sometimes that can hurt you. This is still a work week for Auburn, and it's about getting better as a team. So basically, it's just another week of practice for them, and I think it really help them down the road.
Of course, Auburn goes out to Manhattan on the Thursday night and to take on Kansas State. What about this Kansas State team concerns you the most?
I think you look at them as just the fact that second-year quarterback in their system, and that's usually been a sign of a pretty good team for Kansas State. But he's talented athletically, a guy that can throw, can run, and that always causes problems. I mean, we see what Nick Marshall does for other defenses, but it's a similar type situation for Auburn as well. Just a guy that can hurt you in a couple different ways, and then explosive wide receiver, and then I think opportunistic defense. They'll get after it, play hard, and most of all, just a well-coached football team that normally doesn't beat itself. And so, because of that, on the road on the Thursday night, it makes for a challenge that Auburn has to go out and play well and just kind of take care of business this week.
No doubt Auburn is going to run the football. If we've learned anything in Gus Malzahn tenure, it's that that's what Auburn seems to do best. But you look down the list, and while he didn't play last week, Sammy Coates only has one catch on the season. Do you think that will be a point of emphasis to get him the ball more, certainly in this game, but certainly as the future or in the future?
Yeah, I think the first game obviously got a little bit more attention. I think now that people realize what Auburn has in Deke Williams in the slot, I think it should open up some things outside for Sammy Coates. He had a couple of opportunities. He had a touchdown catch in his hands that he dropped there. So he had some opportunities for a couple more plays, and he's got to earn those opportunities even more. And so because of that, he'll get some opportunities when he doesn't need to take advantage of them. But I think you see Auburn probably target him a little bit more. When you look at the passing game, when you have guys like Deke outside, inside, Sammy outside, defense can't take away everything. And so this could be an opportunity for Sammy to really make some plays.
We've got Jason Caldwell here joining us this afternoon from inside the Auburn Tigers. We had some callers earlier in the show talking about this Auburn defense. It was announced earlier this week, or there was an article written about Montravius Adams and Gabe Wright moving back to the interior, the defensive line for the most part. Do you think that is just because that's where they seem to have the biggest effect, or is there some gaining of confidence of Elijah Daniel, Ladarius Owens, Devontae Lambert?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both of those. Obviously, I think you look at Gabe and Montravius, I think more productivity for them. Inside, I think those guys, more of a mismatch for them at defensive tackle. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And then you're right. seeing guys like Jamel President step up, but Devontae Lambert, Ladarius Books, Elijah Daniel. You got some guys that played pretty good the last time out at defensive end. So I think because of that, it allows them to move some guys around, and they're going to play 10, 11 different guys, maybe even 12 on that defensive line. So you can still see Gabe and Montravius step out there and play some defensive end at times, but I think moving those guys back inside probably in the long run will be probably what's best for the Auburn defense.
But just overall, how do you think this Kansas State team matches up with Auburn? You mentioned a lot of guys that we are not familiar with on the recruiting trail. They recruit. They don't really recruit a lot of guys from the South. Auburn certainly doesn't go out to Kansas that much, although we did pick up a pretty big one in Braden Smith. But how do you think just overall this team matches up with Auburn?
I think it's an interesting matchup. Like I said, Tyler Lockett may be the kind of the key to this game. A speedy outside wide receiver, guy that can make plays. If Auburn doesn't allow the big play, make Kansas State drive the football, make them earn every yard, I think that'll be a key right there, because Auburn has shown that they can be pretty stingy if they just make people grind it out. So I think Tyler Lockett's one of the keys. He'll be one of the more talented, one of the fastest players on the field. So I think that's a key. And then the flip side of it is Kansas State's defense plays hard. They get after it, but they're not real big. And so if Auburn can start to run the football, grind it out, they could really wear that defense down.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Kansas State and receivers. I remember when they came to Jordan-Hare Stadium, and I was really impressed with Jordy Nelson, and he put a show on that night. It's interesting how some programs just seem to find these receivers, and they turn out to be stars.
Yeah, they've done a good job of producing talent. You won't see Kansas State on recruiting lists. They don't get a whole lot of big-time prospects, but all they do is get guys there, fit them into their system, make them better, and then win football games. And that's kind of the story of this team as well. And that's obviously it's the names against the guys that people aren't familiar with Thursday, but they're some pretty good football players.
There was talk earlier this week. I think one of the questions on Tiger Talk was about Robinson Therese and Justin Garrett being on the field at the same time. Both of the guys are really talented, but different football players. It seems like they both have different strengths, both playing that star position. Do you see a scenario that both those guys are on the field more as the season progresses?
Oh, I think we could see that, absolutely. I think it's a possibility, especially when teams are going to spread the field some, because Therese has a defensive back skills. He's a guy that you could play in the slot in a cover situation and still play Justin Garrett at the start. So you can keep those guys on the field. It will give you more options on defense, the ability to do some different things. So I think that's a definite possibility for that Auburn defense.
Well, Jason, any recruiting news that we need to know about, or any possible commitments on the way?
No, it's pretty quiet right now. Obviously, get into the season, and especially with an off week last week on the road this week, a little quieter. The coaches went out last week and got a chance to see some of the guys in action. So other than that, it's just kind of business as usual for this group, and getting ready for a couple of big weeks later in the season. Obviously, LSU, Texas A&M should be much bigger weeks for Auburn on the recruiting trail.
I know you get out to see a lot of high school football games. Anybody that's on Auburn's radar that's really impressing you this season?
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that, obviously guys that are commitments that I've seen already. And Montavious Atkinson has really been impressive. I like the way he plays and does some good things over there at Langston East High School. But his teammate DeAndre Walker, a big-time pass rush and defensive end. That's one of the keys for Auburn, one of the positions of need. So those two guys, Auburn obviously with a commitment for one, and having a teammate of DeAndre Walker definitely won't hurt moving forward as well. So I've really been impressed by them so far this year.
Well, Jason, just let us know what's going on right now inside the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, you can find a lot of previews heading into the weekend at AUTigers.com. Today's Stat Tiger previews the game, also a video of Chris Frost stuff. But we'll have what to watch heading into the weekend. Mailbag for the game, a little bit of everything, all the way up through Thursday afternoon, get ready for the kickoff Thursday night.
Jason Caldwell from Inside the Auburn Tigers. We really appreciate you joining us here this afternoon on Sports Call. Have a safe trip out to the Little Apple.
All right, thanks. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right, thank you very much. More Sports Call to come right after this break. We'll be right back.
It's true. The Big Blue Bookstore stocks Auburn's best selection of textbooks and sweetens the deal with a low price guarantee. But wait, there's more. How about a full-service post office inside the store? Don't waste hours and hours standing in the world's slowest line way on the other side of town. Multitask. Big Blue's collection of Auburn merchandise covers all your bases. AU apparel, gifts, home and auto decor, even stuff for your War Eagle pet. Well, looky there. Now you've got gifts for friends and family, and hey, there's a post office to ship them. Go Big Blue. The Big Blue Bookstore. Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
Y'all ready for this?
Join us at the Fifth Quarter Sports Grill on South College Thursday night for Auburn's road trip to Manhattan to beat the Kansas State Wildcats. Every time Auburn scores, get an orange or blue Jell-O shot for only a quarter. And don't miss any of the action with tons of TVs, even on the screened-in patio. And try Fifth Quarter's legendary burgers and hand-cut fries. They're amazing. See you at the Fifth Quarter Thursday night to watch the Tigers tackle the Wildcats. South College Street in Auburn. War Eagle.
All right, guys, bring it in.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
I want to talk about it last night. Yes, sir. Maybe you had your friends
Hey,
over.
check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Cracked open
Check
some
1 2.
icy
Check
cold
1 2.
Budweisers. I heard that. And maybe, just maybe,
Check
you
1
had
2.
yourself the
Hey,
night
check
of your
1 2.
life.
Check 1 2.
Well, yesterday's over,
check 1
boys,
2.
but
Check 1 2.
tonight is just beginning.
Check.
You got a bunch of bonus buds sitting pretty in your fridge. I want you to crack them open, and I want you to mass text all your friends and round them all up again for round 2. I don't want to hear. I do not want to hear. But we're tired from yesterday, Coach. Or the cleaning lady just left. That's what the fool who missed it would say. Gentlemen, listen to me. You need to go out there and live, and you need to do it tonight. Carpe diem, boys. And while you're at it, carpe nightem too. Great times away.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
It was just one of those days. I had a million things to do. This was the last thing I was expecting.
No matter how well you drive, things happen. And when they do, the ASE certified technicians at Franklin Tire and Auto know there's only one way to fix it, the right way. From accident repair to factory scheduled maintenance, Franklin Tire will give you honest, dependable service at a competitive price. Proudly serving the area since 1970 and still locally owned and operated.
No shortcuts, no compromise, and friendly service every time. Franklin Tire and Auto in Auburn, 821-4572 and FranklinAutoInc.com.
If you're like me, life begins where the paved road ends. America was founded on dreams of land ownership. Just you, the dirt, your imagination, and the sweat of your brow to create your own piece of paradise. We love making dreams come true at First South Farm Credit. We can custom tailor a loan for you with great rates and terms up to 25 years. Come see me, Taylor Hard, on South College Street in Auburn. Visit our website at firstsouthland.com or give us a call at 826-LAND, 826-LAND. First South Farm Credit. We finance land, farms, and dreams.
In a world where time is money, only one team can conquer all your printing and marketing needs, big or small. Call the A-Team, Allegra Printing. The experts at Allegra can handle it all, from concept, copywriting and design, to printing, targeting, and mailing. They're local, knowledgeable, accurate, and quick. Don't risk your company's success on a faceless, faraway online imitator. There can be only one, Allegra Printing, your A-Team, in Auburn, at the University Crossing Shopping Center behind McAllister's Deli. Allegra-auburnal.com.
There's nothing like the signature honey glazed flour slice ham from Honey Bake. Hey, this is Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing boxed lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch or dinner, open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays. Plan your Honey Baked feast today. Give us a call at 741-8411. Stop by and see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakedstore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you for another hour and 8 minutes or so, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free, or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Sports Call brought to you by Auburn Urgent Care.
Yeah, I can't thank Auburn Urgent Care enough, along with Always Money, as being the corporate partners here on Sports Call Auburn each and every day throughout the week. And we've got a lot of great sponsors coming in. And make sure to go out and patronize these local businesses if you're in the Auburn-Opelika area or also up here in the Lake Martin area. We couldn't bring this program to you and couldn't bring all this great Auburn talk to you out there without you going out and patronizing these. So 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Always great to have Jason Caldwell on. Brian Matthews as well comes on Thursday, and they do a tremendous job of getting out and supplying the news to us Auburn fans that we want. We want to hear as much about this week as possible, and Andy and I want to hear as much from all of you, the Auburn fan out there, to call in and let us know what concerns you the most on Thursday night with this Kansas State game.
Yeah, a lot of people that have called in have talked about the defense, and certainly that in the last 2 years, that makes a lot of sense. You think about a Gus Malzahn team, the offense, you don't have to worry about it. You know what you're going to get. We've been pretty spoiled, I think, the last 2 years to see this Auburn offense develop into what it is. You see people across the country. You see Gus Malzahn's influence in the NFL. People are seeing what he is doing and implementing. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. This Auburn offense, nobody has figured it out yet, and except for maybe Gene Chizik, who has the 3 keys to stopping it. But that's yet to be seen. But the Auburn defense, I think a lot of people are very concerned about it. I certainly am encouraged, actually, from what I've seen the first 2 games. So I go back to last year in the first 2 games. I think there's a lot better play overall. Certainly there are a lot of mistakes, and that's something that's good for an off week. You look at those minor things, that communication problem, and you work those things out. That's what a good coaching staff does. You take the mistakes and you try to iron them out.
Let's talk about some strengths of this Auburn team so far in the early part of the season. For me, if I look at one thing that we had told or been told a lot about, but you don't see it on the field just yet, Duke Williams. Duke Williams play. Sammy Coates has yet to really have to do anything to help this offense. He'll be back on Thursday night. He'll be another part of this receiving core that can cause problems out there. But so far, Duke Williams and Melvin Ray, when the ball's been in Melvin Ray's hands, it's been great things for Auburn also. He's averaging right at 27 yards a reception, 1 touchdown on the season. Duke Williams sitting there in the middle, and his size causes so many matchup problems for the rest of the defense. 13 catches, 214 yards, 16.5 yards a catch, and 1 touchdown on the season. Nick Marshall, what are your thoughts so far on his play in the early part of the season?
It's mixed. I mean, I think that second half of the Arkansas game, him running the read option, he looked like his old self. He looked like he picked up right where he left off last year. His passing has been inconsistent. He's completing, I think, 56% of his passes. He's only played a game and a half. But last year it was 59. So, he's actually gone down a little bit. So I think they wanted him to be at 65. Certainly, will he get there? Now, you bring up, we talk about Sammy Coates. He has yet to have an effect or an impact on the season. But he and Duke Williams both in the game at the same time, running, pass patterns at the same time, having an effect on the game at the same time, that has yet to even show up. That's something to look forward to down as the season goes along. When we have to, when teams are stacking, the box and giving us an opportunity to exploit that. I'm really looking forward to that because right now, one of the best receivers in the country has got 1 catch this season.
If you're worried about losing Trey Mason, the running core, will Auburn be able to replace a Heisman Trophy finalist from this past season, 1,800-plus yards rushing in the regular season? No worry here. Cameron Artis-Payne's been outstanding so far, almost 300 yards rushing at 289, 7 yards per carry average. That's the big number. Was always a wonder. I don't think anyone had a concern about Cameron Artis-Payne and his ability to run between the tackles strong running, but could he break out and make the big play? At a 7-yard per gain average, I would say absolutely. He's got 4 touchdowns. And Corey Grant has been exactly what he was last year, if not more. 176 yards rushing, almost 9 yards per carry, the 1 touchdown also. And none of those are the big, huge 75, 80-yard gains that we saw last year. We know he can. We know he has that in the arsenal. He'll make those type of plays as the season progresses, but those 2 running backs have been outstanding.
No doubt about it. That's a great point. Corey Grant is averaging 8.8 yards a carry, and I think his longest run of the season is less than 30 yards. He doesn't, like you said, have that 75-yard run yet, so that's going to happen sooner or later. I love the fact that he's back there returning kicks. He's going to break one of those eventually this year. Auburn will, I think their, kick return is in good shape. Quan Bray has stepped up. He's already got a touchdown returning punts. I like him in that area. So all these places that we had some concerns coming in, it looks like maybe we're pretty good.
Yeah, feel-good story last night. Cody Parkey knocks through the field goal to win there on Monday night, and Cody Parkey missed one early in the game but comes back and takes advantage of an opportunity. And I think 2 consecutive games this year, Cody Parkey, who was dropped by that same Colts team that he beat last night, has made some great plays. And that becomes, we've got a good friend of ours that does the other programs with us, and that's Luke Robinson. He says, I've gotten into the NFL a lot more because I see a lot of Alabama players out there playing on Sunday, and Auburn, I feel the same way as we move on in the upcoming years. We've got a number of players playing in the league, but, boy, it's going to be fun in the next few years.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and take our final break here of the first hour, but the Fox Sports Report is coming up next, and there'll be the second hour of Sports Call when we come back, presented by Auburn Urgent Care.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com, and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
When you're looking for the best chicken fingers and wings in town, nothing else will hit the spot better than JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has everything you need to curb a big appetite, and they have all-you-can-eat chicken fingers on Monday night and all-you-can-eat wings on Tuesday night. Any child wearing their City League uniform eats for $1.99 on the kids' menu. Check out our Facebook page daily for our dine-in special. Visit us at 145 Alabama Street in Alex City.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 93.9, WTGZ, Union Springs, Montgomery, and Auburn, and AM 620 WTRP, LaGrange.
Fox Sports Trending now.
Live from Los Angeles, I'm Tom Looney. Waving over a hot microphone. Detroit Lions running back Reggie Bush told the New York radio station today is that the key thing to remember when disciplining your toddler is don't leave bruises.
I most definitely discipline my daughter. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I discipline her, and I definitely will try to, will obviously not leave bruises or anything like that on her, but I definitely would discipline her harshly, depending on what again, what the situation is.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton and Minnesota's U.S. Senator Al Franken have encouraged the Vikings to bench Adrian Peterson. Swoosh! Just like that, Nike has removed.
Grab a Bud Light and gather around, NFL fans, to hear the tale of Gail Hammerschmidt, a true legend of the game. Gail once tailgated for 34 straight Falcons games, even grilling chili dogs during the snowpocalypse of '04. What was Gail's best 40-yard dash time? I don't know. But I do know no one was quicker to the mini-fridge for an ice-cold Bud Light. But there are many Gail Hammerschmidts for whom the love of the game and the love of Bud Light is truly epic. And this season, some will be rewarded with experiences like tickets or an ultimate NFL weekend. So be like Gail this season and visit your local beer aisle or upforwhatever.com. Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens.
Ultimate NFL experience open to U.S. residents 21 plus. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31/14. See upforwhatever.com for details. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
You don't have to be a resident of whatever USA to find great Bud Light promotions at your favorite bars and retailers in Auburn, Opelika, and Montgomery.
Gotta get the Gill. Gill's Auto Sales. If finance, got to get the Gill. Been asking for lowdowns, all I'm here to say. Gill's Phoenix City Walmart has them on the way. Everything on the lot is $4.99 down. Gill's price and selection is the best around. That low down payment gets you on your way. $4.99 down, you'll be riding today. Gotta get the Gill. Gill's Auto Sales. If finance, got to get the Gill. Selection and price. Got to get the Gill. Gotta get the Gill.
Auburn Bank has money to lend because you have a dream to start, a business to expand, folks to take care of, a future to secure. For what matters most to you in your life, our experienced lenders are ready to assist you in achieving your goals. Auburn Bank, since 1907, your partner, your neighbor, your friend. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at auburnbank.com.
Stop by your local TK's convenience store where Resource Natural Spring Water 700 milliliter bottles are buy one, get one free. Resource is a 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes for taste. It's good for you and mindful of the environment thanks to a bottle made with 50% recycled plastic. So visit your local TK's convenience store to refresh, revitalize, and replenish with a special buy one, get one free offer on Resource Spring Water. Offer valid 5/1 through 6/30/2014. Excludes label and cap. Recycling facilities may not be available in your area.
TK's convenience stores are prepared to help you on your dash home. Whether you need to grab a gallon of milk, bread, drinks, or some cash from the ATM, TK's is there for you. At TK's convenience stores, we work hard to carry those items that you need to grab quickly, and we pride ourselves on high-quality gasoline and clean stores. So don't stress about your evening. Slow down and stop at one of TK's 14 locations to grab what you need. TK's convenience stores, always there when you need us.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Reinhardt Prattville, located on Cobb's Ford Road, 334-290-1992. Visit us online at reinhardtprattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville, we sell to sell again.
You better buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a show to watch.
From Tiger Communications.
Jackson, touchdown.
For 20 years, East Alabama's sports talk leader.
Swing and drive.
Sports Call.
Oh, what a shot.
Call in now at 887-3401 or 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free.
Struck him out.
And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains. Sports Call.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy Graham and Randy Lee here with you for another hour, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on our Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. We appreciate all of you joining us here for the second hour of Sports Call. We talked a lot about Auburn and Kansas State in the first hour. Caught up with Jason Caldwell as Auburn will head out tomorrow, and Jason in tow as they travel to close to 1,000 miles out to the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas, where Auburn will take on Kansas State Wildcats. They're on Thursday night, 6:30 on ESPN. The pretty marquee matchup there. The whole country will be watching. I know a lot of people are curious about Auburn and what they have this year. Are they going to be the same kind of team they were last year? They're going to be able to make the initial 14 playoff in the NCAA this year? I think a lot of questions will probably be answered after this game.
When you look at the ESPN Football Power Index, Auburn's sitting there at number 1 right now. I don't know how they do exactly the rankings, but I can give you some numbers out there if it helps anyone. Auburn 27.3, Florida State 25.6, Alabama 25.0, and Oregon 25.0. Do you like those top 4 teams currently? Were those the 4 that you would put in? And how many of you out there would have had Georgia in this top 4 before this past weekend? And I know that's where we're moving with this, Andy, but that'll be our question as we move into the second hour of the program. Who do you like currently? Out of what you've seen, who do you like currently in this top 4? I got to put one team in there that I can't take out. It's Oklahoma. I thought Oklahoma looked outstanding against Tennessee Saturday night.
Yeah, Tennessee certainly still got some strides to make as they traveled out to Norman over the weekend. Now, that game was a little closer than the score indicated. When you think about it, Tennessee was down 17 points early in the fourth quarter driving inside the 10-yard line of Oklahoma, throws a pick 6 from back the other way, and it's 34-10, and that game is over. Tennessee scores there, cuts it to 10-point game. It could have gotten interesting down the stretch. So, Oklahoma only rushes for 146 yards in that game. Of course, they throw for 308, so you felt like they were probably in control most of the game, but I thought Tennessee went out and acquitted themselves pretty well. I don't think anybody expected them to win, but they just needed to compete, and I think, being down there, with a chance to cut it to 10, be a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, Tennessee probably comes away happy.
Auburn number 1, Florida State 2, Alabama 3, Oregon 4. Who you like, who you not like in that top 4 so far?
Run them one more time.
Auburn 1, Florida State 2, Alabama 3, and Oregon 4.
I don't think you – I think just because the ACC is what it is, you have to like Florida State. Oregon looks like the class of the Pac-12. And I'm like you. I would replace Alabama with Oklahoma right now. Those would be the 4 teams that I would think have a great chance to make that first playoff. Alabama certainly they'll have their opportunities if they can beat LSU, if they can beat A&M, if they can beat Auburn, they'll be there. But the winner of the SEC, no matter who they are, they're a lock. But everybody else, I don't know.
A team I think that's sitting right there on the outside looking in, and everybody wants to see them play one more of these Western Division teams in the SEC is that Texas A&M team. How impressive are they, especially after the big win for South Carolina over Georgia on Saturday? Does that make – I think, of course, it does. It makes that Texas A&M victory over South Carolina just look that much more better. But where do they end up? They haven't, even with Johnny Football, gotten over the hump and even played for an SEC title yet. But this offense is outstanding, and I guess it'll be a scoring battle for any of us that go up against them. At least that's what Texas A&M's hope is.
Well, you look at that Texas A&M, they played Rice over the weekend and got outgained by Rice. Now, they won the game going away, but Rice played extremely well. I think Texas A&M and Arkansas play maybe next week. That'll be a very interesting matchup. We'll see if that Texas A&M defense has really improved. We'll find out if that Arkansas defense can even slow down Texas A&M enough to make the game competitive. But if Arkansas runs on them, which everybody did last year, and Arkansas has proved one thing this year, that they can run the football. They have some talented backs. They have a pretty good offensive line. You get in the game like they did with Texas Tech, where you're just grinding out the clock, dominating time of possession. That could be a very interesting game.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Love for you to go out and find us on Twitter. SportsCall AU is where you can find us there. And a couple of questions that we have that we've thrown out there as questions of the day today. Kansas State Thursday night. What portion of their team or what portion of our team throws the concerns? What's the biggest concern you have going into that game Thursday night? And currently, ESPN Power Index has Auburn ranked number 1. Alabama there in the top 4, Oregon there in the top 4, and Florida State looking at number 2. So out of those 4 teams, who would you take out and who would you add from what you've seen in the early part of the season?
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Did Kentucky get cheated out of their first win against Florida in 27 years Saturday?
I think they did. And replay, am I wrong? Replay shows they did.
Well, to me, you can't, it was kind of milliseconds. I mean, it's hard to tell if the ball was actually beginning to be snapped when it hit zero, but the ball had not gotten back to the quarterback, and it was zero. Now, granted, it would just have been a 5-yard penalty. Florida would have had another chance to try to score. So you can't say, well, that play cost them the game. But I was thoroughly impressed with how much improvement Kentucky has made. Mark Stoops done a tremendous job there.
More impressed with Kentucky's improvement and Kentucky's program, or the lack of what you may be expected with Florida coming into the season? Because a lot of the pundits out there felt like Florida was the team to look out for them. The East not that strong. Florida could have a rise from 2 seasons ago where they played in the Sugar Bowl, maybe getting back to that point again with Jeff Driscoll back at quarterback. I don't know. I didn't see it the other night, and barring Alabama just playing terrible Saturday. And look, I'm an Auburn fan. I'd love nothing more than Florida to take down the Crimson Tide, but I don't see any chance whatsoever.
No, I not from what I saw Saturday. When that game was tied 3-3 at the half, I think every Florida fan in existence probably said it's time to make a change. I think it's too early to kind of bail on the season, for Will Muschamp, but Randy, he's not – it doesn't look good.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Let's go back to the phone lines. Luke in Ellick City, you're on Sports Call.
Guys, how are y'all?
Good, Luke. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Andy just phrased something kind of interesting. He said, did Florida get cheated out of their first win in Florida in 27 years? And,
Kentucky.
Listening to Georgia fans today, in my opinion, I think that this should be a lesson for all Alabama and Auburn fans, just to take that word out of your vocabulary when it comes to officiating, because bad calls happen sometimes. Look, Georgia got a few bad calls against South Carolina, but Todd Gurley should have been ejected just as well. Things happen, and it's part of the game. These referees are human, and they make mistakes, and it was a bang-bang play the other day with the play clock. You can't go back and review that, is my understanding. So, it's hard to keep an eye on both of them unless it's blatantly obvious. I don't think that you should make that call anyway. If it's completely obvious that the clock hit zero and you delayed the game, then so be it. But in that particular instance, I don't think necessarily Kentucky got cheated. It was one of those really quick moments that would be tough to call. I just feel like, Auburn has gotten their calls over the years. They've gotten their calls against them over the years. I know as an Alabama fan, there's some calls in last year's Iron Bowl that made me think, those could have certainly gone the other way. But they happen. They're part of the game, and sometimes you get the call and sometimes you don't. And Kentucky had a chance to break that pass up, and they didn't do it. And who's to say they wouldn't have scored if they had got the 5-yard penalty? So it was just part of it. I just feel like it's very interesting phrasing, and looking at Georgia's message boards today and how these people are going nuts about the South Carolina game and a spot here or a non-holding call there, when there were just as many calls that went in Georgia's favors or non-calls.
Luke, we've got a number of questions that we've thrown out there, and I don't even know which one to bring up to you first. First off, I'd like your thoughts. Florida, were you less impressed with them as you thought before coming into the season? And we've got to get your thoughts on this upcoming Saturday. Can Florida stay on the field with Alabama?
I think the Florida-Alabama game is probably going to be closer than the spread indicates, because I don't think Alabama's there yet. I talked about it in the Talking Tuscaloosa podcast yesterday, that there is an it factor that seems to be missing from this Alabama team, and there is some sense of confusion when the players get up to the line, especially on offense, that bothers me. But it's hard to really complain too much because they keep beating everybody, and they keep beating them pretty well. With the West Virginia win, sure looks a lot better now, and it may look a whole lot better if they hang with or beat Oklahoma on Saturday. I doubt it happens, but I think that West Virginia win is going to turn out to be a pretty nice win. I want to see Alabama get it together a little bit more, so I don't know if this will be all on Florida or their lack of improvement. But I'll tell you this, everybody else has been saying Florida didn't look good against Kentucky. Let's give Kentucky some credit, too, because, man, they looked a lot more physical than they have in previous years, and I think they're going to give a lot of teams trouble this year.
Luke, thanks so much for your phone call today.
All right, guys, have a good day.
We appreciate it. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Back to you, Andy.
Up against a break, but there's more Sports Call right after this.
Looking for the best chicken fingers and wings in town, nothing else will hit the spot better than JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has everything you need to curb a big appetite, and they have all-you-can-eat chicken fingers on Monday night and all-you-can-eat wings on Tuesday night. Any child wearing their City League uniform eats for $1.99 on the kids menu. Check out our Facebook page daily for our dine-in special. Visit us at 145 Alabama Street in Alex City.
Alex City Food Shop is now your local Shell station, located on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280. Stop by and experience performance that excites with Shell V-Power gasoline. No other gasoline protects better than Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline by cleaning performance-robbing gunk from intakes and fuel injectors. And we now accept Winn-Dixie Fuel Perks and Fuel Rewards Network cards so you can save on fuel purchases. See store for details. State-of-the-art touch-free car wash, snacks, cold drinks, ice, and much more for your tailgating needs. Alex City Food Shop on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280, where we're always open and appreciate your business.
Lake Winds Golf Course, the most affordable, quality round of golf in Central Alabama. Located right off Highway 280 on County Road 40 in Alexander City. Lake Winds Golf Course offers affordable memberships, an updated pro shop, junior golf program, annual tournaments, and weekly matches. Call for your tee time today, 256-825-9860. Lake Winds Golf Course.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive at Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn, or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com.
We should be taking predictions.
Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
At Reinhardt Prattville on 2154 Cobbs Ford Road, we have over 300 used vehicles in stock. Sedans, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, imports, and domestic. We're proud to be celebrating 10 years in Prattville. Come by and see managers Donnie Crozier or Skip Latham and get your best deal on a used vehicle. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville, where we sell to sell again. Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika, call Alpha agent Brian Foreman at 334-749-3371 or stop by our office at 709 2nd Avenue in Opelika.
At Russell Do-It Center stores, you'll find a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and lawn and garden merchandise. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rated products, and competitive do-it-best pricing. Russell Do-It Center also offers free estimates, free local delivery, and price match promise. Check us out at www.russelldoitcenter.com or visit one of our 9 locations in Central Alabama.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you for another 40 minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. And we'll go right back to the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline.
Russell in Auburn, you're on Sports Call.
I was worried.
Where you go to you, Russell?
Hey, man, y'all talk about getting cheated. And I was just as happy as anybody to see Cody Parkey hit that game-winning field goal last night. But Andrew Luck and the Colts, they were cheated. And what I want to get to on talking about those officials last night in that game is, and I'm not so naive as to say, there shouldn't be any judgment calls from refs and things like that, because obviously, you're not going to be able to police every single call that's made. But if coaches have challenges, why is it that they can only challenge certain plays and not? If you have a limited number of challenges, regardless of what it was, and even if it was a no call, why can't you use a challenge? If you're wrong, you lose your challenge, don't get another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. It should be the same way in baseball, in my opinion, too. If you have a challenge, why can't you use that challenge to review a call to get the call in the field right, whether it was made right or wrong or not made at all, because they are 0-2 now because of the officials. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The interception, he literally pulled down the receiver, blatant no call, should have never been an interception. And then the horse collar was not a horse collar that allowed them to get down and score faster. So it's just want to hear y'all's opinion on that, and I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Russell. No NFL game, no college game is ever going to be perfect. No baseball game is ever going to be perfect. There's certain situations in baseball, like that you can't go back and you can't go back and change a call because it affects everything. It's like the guy he trapped the ball, but the runner would have scored. So what you go back and put him on third base to say that it didn't. You don't know what the runners would do. It's difficult in baseball. Football, kind of on the other hand, I see what you're saying. Judgment, you could call holding on every play. You could call probably pass interference on most every play. But going back and reviewing no calls, I don't think you're ever going to see that. You might should, but I think Luke's point is valid that there are just going to be some bad calls from time to time, and it would behoove you not to be 1 point behind, or if you're going to win a game, you better win it convincingly, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know where you go. I mean, I'm not sure where you start to try to make sure that every single call gets called right.
888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-3401 this week. You can call in with your prediction on Auburn and Kansas State. Tiebreaker will be rushing yards from Corey Grant. So far on the season, Corey Grant averaging right at 90 yards per game, running the football, 1 touchdown, 8.8 yards per carry. On the other end, Cameron Artis-Payne, 289 yards rushing, so right at 300 yards on the season and 4 touchdowns. So our tiebreaker this week will be rushing yards from Corey Grant. You can call in and give us that prediction here. You can find us on our social media outlets, whether that be Twitter or Facebook. And, again, we'd love to hear from you. Georgia, were you taken back on their play? You were pretty high on Georgia after that first week, best I can remember, Andy.
I was. I just thought that I get so caught up in this. I would think that I would learn at some point, and I'm going to say this right now. I have learned. Okay, I'm not going to make this mistake again. I trust the Georgia players. I do not trust the Georgia coaches. Okay, Todd Gurley's got 20 carries in that game for about 130-something yards. What if he had 30 carries? Or what if instead of giving the ball to Nick Chubb 4 times, you give it to him 10? You give it to Gurley 20 and to Chubb 10. It's just typical Mike Bobo. It's typical Mark Richt that you're first and goal at the 4-yard line, and you've got a bulldozer in the backfield, and you run play action. You get, right or wrong, whether you think it was a good call or not, you get a grounding penalty. Now you're second and goal from the 14. And basically that's it. And that was the game. I mean, you missed a chip shot field goal, but there, and then the ball just kind of, it was almost like Georgia was not meant to win. The ball just kind of fades away right at the last second, and then it comes back after it goes past the upright. I mean, it's unreal. But I just think that Georgia wastes Todd Gurley more often than they ride him. And that's stupid to me.
We know a lot of you out there that listening to this program are Georgia fans, especially over in the Columbus market and moving that way. So I know you're disappointed, and it's a loss. I do think Georgia can get back in this thing. It's not a bad loss. It's a very close loss. And I got a question for you. How does the yard marker work? How does the first down line?
The chain links are 10 yards.
Okay.
The poles don't have anything to do with it. The links of the chain are 10 yards.
I just learned something.
There you go.
How many of you out there knew that? 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. But I was impressed with the running backs for South Carolina. Very, very impressed with Brandon Wilds. Didn't know a lot about him before Saturday. Sure know a lot about him now. 14 carries, 93 yards, and that touchdown. Runs the ball equally as strong as Mike Davis to me. And that's one thing you can toot Steve Spurrier's horn. When it was Florida, it was fun and gun. This guy made his money by throwing the football around. Did have Eric Rhett.
Fred Taylor really good.
Fred Taylor, a couple of others. But it was still made throwing the football around. And now, if you watch South Carolina, Dylan Thompson played great the other night. But, boy, they are a power football team. So we brought this up. I'm moving all over the place. But how good does that make Texas A&M look after Saturday night?
Well, it's a good question. Again, I don't think Texas A&M is near as good as they looked that night. Obviously, South Carolina is not near as bad as they looked that night. Dylan Thompson, he threw for a ton of yards in that game against Texas A&M. He threw, like you said, but he threw one terrible pass, which almost cost him the game. Now, is he going to do that going forward? Is everybody else going to bungle a 1st and goal from the 4? Probably not. So South Carolina could have just as easily lost that game as they did win it. So I'm like you. They ran the ball, well. I think the East is wide open. Florida's 2-0, but certainly they don't look like a great team. I don't even Randy. Did you?
I didn't watch.
Did you watch Vandy?
No, I didn't watch.
Well, I turned it on ESPN, and the Missouri was on playing Central Florida, and I watched a little bit of that. And then a ticker came up and said UMass 14, Vandy 0, and I went, oh no. And I turned it over there and started watching it. And hey, give them credit. They got a big win over UMass, but they are terrible. They are. I mean, they look like a high school team.
The team we don't talk about enough, Missouri.
That's true.
Missouri, Matty Malk, again had 4 touchdown passes Saturday. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but the passes he did complete were big ones, 4 touchdowns. And Missouri played the SEC championship last year and played us. I mean, I don't want to play us off our feet, but offensively they played us about as well as you could play us late in the season. Auburn had to put up 59 to take them down. So Missouri, watch out for them. I mean, James Franklin was a good player last year for them, but Matty Malk I think is of equal value there, and a tough loss with the receiver that's headed over to Oklahoma. Dorial Green Beckham, losing him, and he was outstanding against us in that SEC championship game. But watch out for Missouri. We'd love to hear from you. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Great guest coming up. A lot better than listening to us. You'll know a little bit more about Kansas State after our next guest.
Yeah, voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, will join us next to kind of preview the game. Let us know a little bit about Kansas State, things that we didn't know. So really looking forward to that. Up against the break here, going to take our mid-hour break here, the second hour of Sports Call. When we come back, we'll be joined by the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. Be sure to join us on the other side of this break. More Sports Call presented by Always Money right after this.
Whoa, I gotta pull in here. It's fueling happy hour all day, every day at TK's on Highway 14 in Tallahassee. Come by TK's Tallahassee location for a fill-up and get a free fountain drink. That's right. Come by TK's on Highway 14 in Tallahassee anytime. Fill up with high-quality Valero gasoline and quench your thirst with a free fountain drink. Ooh, that's good. It's always happy hour at TK's Highway 14, Tallahassee location only.
They say business can get downright dirty. At Advanced Disposal, we couldn't agree more. That's why we offer dedicated solid waste and recycling services designed specifically for business. We work hard to leave your business a little cleaner than we found it. Whether the job is big or small, we do all the heavy lifting so you can focus solely on your customers, because that's what business is all about. Advanced Disposal, always working to keep your business and community beautiful. Visit advanceddisposal.com or call your local facility and discover our full range of commercial services today.
It's true. The Big Blue Bookstore stocks Auburn's best selection of textbooks and sweetens the deal with a low price guarantee. But wait, there's more. How about a full-service post office inside the store? Don't waste hours and hours standing in the world's slowest line way on the other side of town. Multitask. Big Blue's collection of Auburn merchandise covers all your bases. AU apparel, gifts, home and auto decor, even stuff for your War Eagle pet. Well, looky there. Now you've got gifts for friends and family, and hey, there's a post office to ship them. Go Big Blue. The Big Blue Bookstore, Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
Hi, I'm Pat Dye. I'd like to tell you why I've been a Ware Jewelers customer for more than 30 years. I like the people, I like the jewelry, and I like the prices. Ware Jewelers has been perfecting what they do since 1946. Their quality is great. They treat each and every customer like a close friend. This is Coach Dye, and in football I like the Tigers. In jewelry, my choice is Ware Jewelers. Ware Jewelers, Auburn, Opelika, Montgomery, and Spanish Fort.
At Tiger Iron Gym, you don't have to deal with old, worn-out equipment. Huh? Or the gym closing early for the night. Awesome! Tiger Iron Gym is proud to be open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Around the clock, you can train on the best equipment anywhere. 14,000 square feet of state-of-the-art cardio and strength equipment, you name it, they got it at Tiger Iron Gym. These perks and more can be yours for just $19 a month. When other gyms shut down for the night, they're going strong at Tiger Iron Gym on South College and Auburn between Winn-Dixie and the Big Blue Bookstore. Call 329-7299.
Every day you wake up with a brand new to-do list. You make it to class with minutes to spare, always have your homework ready, and never take a day off. You keep studying even when you're tired, and somehow you find time for extracurricular activities. And oh yeah, friends, treat yourself to the best gourmet burger in Auburn at KJ's on South College. Try the Black and Blue, blackened and topped with blue cheese, tomato, and onion. Come on, you deserve it. Gourmet burgers, only $5. Weekdays from 11 to 4 at KJ's on South College.
Auburn Links is proud to honor the people who keep us safe, the men and women of the military, and the police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County. To show their thanks, Auburn Links is offering you special discounts. Just show your ID, and you'll get 18 holes of the best golf around for just $25 anytime. That's right, members of the military, along with police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County, 18 holes for just $25. Auburn Links wants to thank you for what you do with a great round of golf. Auburn Links, off exit 51. Call 887-5151.
Wanted. Personal assistant for small business and some school project. Must be an expert graphic designer, well-versed in strategic marketing, able to quickly and accurately print everything from business cards and brochures to flyers and signs. With Allegra Printing, you don't need an assistant to get it done. They've got you covered. In-house designers, state-of-the-art all-digital printing equipment, and an on-time can-do attitude. Allegra Printing, your personal assistant. University Crossing Shopping Center behind McAllister's Deli in Auburn. Visit allegra-auburnal.com or call 887-3180.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Here's to a one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is a proud sponsor of the college football playoff. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy Graham here with you for another 30 minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. We'll pick up your phone calls in the next segment, but right now we're going to go to the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline and welcome in a very special guest, Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Wyatt, how you doing today?
I'm really good. Good to be on with you. Hope things are well in Alabama today.
They are. We're having a beautiful day, great weather here in Alabama. We can't thank you enough for joining us here. Wyatt, just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been the play-by-play man for the Wildcats?
I have been at Kansas State. I just started my 13th year, the 1st of July. Did get to come down to Auburn in 2007. It was one of my favorite trips in the time I've been here. Grew up about 50 miles west of the K-State campus, so really kind of was coming home for me. I came back to the state from Colorado, where I spent 13 years out there. So it's great to be back and great to be around purple again.
Well, we're obviously all looking forward to this game Thursday night between Auburn and Kansas State there in the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas. Kansas State coach Bill Snyder obviously has been around for quite a long time. Just talk a little bit about him. And is there a head coach in the country that means more to a program than Bill Snyder does to Kansas State?
That's a great question, and I would answer it this way. If there is one, I'm not aware of who it might be. I get asked about Coach Snyder every day of my life, and I mean that honestly. He's been here 23 years. K-State football, prior to Bill Snyder, their winning percentage was roughly 29%. In the 23 years he's been here, he had a stretch where they went to 11 straight bowls. This was a program that had been to one bowl game before he showed up. So as far as most people in these parts are concerned, Bill Snyder is Kansas State football.
Well, Kansas State will be hosting Auburn at Bill Snyder Family Stadium there on the campus. Here in the SEC, we think about, when we go to, a home stadium, when we go to visiting teams in the SEC, it's always a raucous environment. We play in front of 100,000 people. When you look at it and you say that the Bill Snyder Family Stadium holds 50,000 people, people look at that and say, oh, well, this is not going to be that big a deal. But from what I understand, the environment there is one of the best that certainly in the Big 12, if not the country.
Well, as I mentioned, I've been here, this is my 13th year. In my very first year, we played USC here, and they came in here, and I think they were stunned by how loud it was and how raucous it was. And Coach Snyder, all of these years later, still talks about that to our fan base and mentions how much it means to our program to have people show up here. We've got a lot of people, probably much like your area, where they drive several hours to come to games, 7-8 times a year. And I think he's very appreciative of that. We've got a very, not the world's most populous state, but we've got a very big state, and we've got people from everywhere. We've actually got, I think it's 46 states where we have season ticket holders. So it's a pretty unique situation.
Wow, that is interesting. Well, talk to us a little bit about the quarterback, Jake Waters. Senior quarterback, he has some very impressive numbers this year. Just talk to us a little bit about him and his maturity and leadership of this Kansas State offense.
It's an interesting situation with Jake. He came in here and won the starting job a year ago. He was pretty good from the start, but really good in the last half of last year. I think that's really, we won 6 of our last 7, including the bowl win against Michigan, and he was one of the keys to that. He just was better as the year went on. He got a lot more comfortable within the system. Very bright young guy, has done everything that Coach Snyder has asked of him. He can really throw it. He's not going to wow you when you look at him physically, but he can make all the throws. He's become a better runner. Coming off of a 138-yard rushing game at Iowa State our last time out a week from Saturday. So he has the potential to run. Now, he's not like your guy. I don't want to kid anybody. But he can throw the football, and he's been really a good fit into our program.
Also, really, I think, in my opinion, one of the best receivers in the country, in Tyler Lockett. Just talk a little bit about him and what he means to this passing attack.
Well, I agree with you. I've seen a lot of really, really fine receivers in this league, and I think Tyler's as good as most. Maybe not all, but a lot of them. His father played here. His uncle played here. He's a young man from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I just would tell you that I think he has willed himself to be a heck of a college football player. He's a good route runner. He has good hands. Very, very, very diligent worker. He's a good Christian kid who does everything right. If you were a father, you would want a kid probably like that. I just couldn't say a bad thing about the guy. And he's just been such a playmaker for us. He's had 10 100-yard receiving games in his career. He's just done it, basically 4 straight years. It's hard to do that and come in and start right away, but he did that.
Well, Kansas State, much like Auburn, a lot of the focus is on the offense because it has done has been good for so long. Bill Snyder does just an outstanding job, that offense being his background. But this Kansas State defense is pretty salty as well, only giving up 87 yards rushing right now a game. Just let us know, some people to be aware of and who on this Kansas State defense stands out to you.
Okay. Well, let me just say, in the time that Bill Snyder's been here, especially in the early days, they relied on really, really great defense here. I think there have been several times, I think probably he's had maybe 7 or 8 or 9 top 10 defensive units in his stay here. This unit is probably not quite like that, but I think they have the potential to be pretty darn good. We've got a young man by the name of Ryan Mueller, who's one of our defensive ends, actually, frankly, a walk-on from the Kansas City area, just a big motor guy. He's kind of pretty much typical of what K-State football is. He's not going to wow you with his athleticism and what he looks like walking off the bus, but he's just a high-level, experienced and play with passion kind of guy. I think that he just represents what K-State football is there. I'd probably start with him. And then after that, I think Randall Evans is our nickel back, a guy that, and we're pretty much a nickel most of the time, and I think we will be against your bunch come Thursday night. He's a guy that's basically been around here, 4 years and has done a really, really nice job. But for us, it's all about, to be honest with you, trying to slow that group down. They're just so. I've watched their 2 games, and then what they do is just crazy. It's hard to get them shut down if they get going a little bit.
We've got Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, joining us here on Sports Call this afternoon. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Auburn comes in the number 5 team in the country. Obviously, they won the SEC last year and played for the national championship, coming up just short, 13 seconds away. What concerns you the most about this Auburn team?
That's a really good question, and here's it's the same question that Coach Snyder has been asked a couple of times this week, and I'll give you his answer. What he said in "What is your biggest concern about Auburn?" He basically said, and this is simplifying it to its finest degree, I suppose, athleticism. That really is it. Both sides of the ball, special teams, you name it. They're a bigger, stronger, faster football team than Kansas State. That's probably just the reality of it. That kind of happens to us a lot in our league, especially when we're playing teams like Oklahoma and Texas. So this won't be anything new for K-State. I don't think they'll be intimidated in any way. But yet, having said all of that, you have to respect your opponent, and certainly Kansas State will. And this is a big, strong, tough physical group. But yet, as Coach talks about, they can play at so many different paces. And that, I think, is the next concern. And when they get going rapid fire, it's hard to make your calls. It's hard to be in the right place. It's hard to substitute. It's hard to do a lot of things against guys like that.
Well, Wyatt, in your opinion, what does Kansas State have to do to pull the upset this weekend or this Thursday night?
Well, to be honest, I think to pull it off, I think they can throw the ball a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think they can do that. To actually have a chance to win, they've got to be able to run the ball some. It's simplifying it, I understand that, but your best chance if you're a Wildcat is trying to keep Auburn's offense on the sideline as much as possible. They're going to score some. That's obvious. They're going to run it some. They're going to throw it some. They'll have some balance. They'll wow you at times. That's just part of the deal. But if K-State can't run, it could be a long night. If they can run, we could be in for a pretty interesting evening.
No doubt about it. I certainly am. I'm of the opinion that I talked to somebody the other day. If it's close going to the fourth quarter, I'm going to be very, very nervous.
Yeah, it's happened here before, partner, to be real honest with you. And not that I'm predicting it. I don't mean that. But, I think your kids will walk away from this, win or lose, respecting the atmosphere and our fan base and that how loud and how passionate they are. And it can be a tough place to play. On the other hand, if if Auburn comes in here and it's 21-0 before everybody breaks a sweat, then it's not quite so much. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm anxious to see how our kids respond. But to be honest, they've been talking about this game for all the way back to last summer, to be honest about it. And you know what? It's finally here, and they're pumped up about it. And they should be. It's great to have a program like that come in here.
Absolutely. I know everyone on this end is looking forward to it as well. Just one final question. What's the weather forecast looking like?
Actually, pretty good. A few high clouds. They're talking about 77 degrees by about game time. So I think weather-wise, you're catching us at a pretty good time here.
No, that's fantastic. Well, Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, really appreciate you joining us this afternoon on Sports Call. Look forward to the game this Thursday night, and just hope that everybody comes out from it injury-free, and it's a good game.
Absolutely. That's well said. Really nice talking to you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. More Sports Call on the other side of this break, presented by Auburn Urgent Care, right after this.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com, and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn, or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
CertaPro Painters of Auburn, Alabama and Columbus, Georgia, is locally owned by Mike and Chris Dobbs. Whether it's interior or exterior, residential or commercial, CertaPro Painters delivers a professional painting experience to you. We give you a free, detailed written estimate, free color consultation. We provide a 2-year warranty for your protection. We also offer an easy pay program. Call 334-651-0063 or 706-225-8070. CertaPro Painters. Experience the difference a pro can make.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
There is no doubt that high school and college athletics rule the state of Alabama. Increase exposure for your business by spending your advertising dollars on the best sports programming in Alabama with SportsLit, SportsCall, and the AHSAA radio network. In a sports-hungry state like Alabama, SportsLit, SportsCall, and the AHSAA radio network will offer your business the best return on investment. We have packages designed to fit any budget. Call today at 256-794-8223.
Before the big game on Saturday, tune in to SportsLit's Saturday Sports Countdown on FM Talk 95.9. From 10 a.m. to noon, Luke Robinson, Brett Pritchard, and Randy Lee break down the day's biggest games and the latest news from around the sports world. You can call in at 800-782-0108 or watch live at sportsblitzlive.com.
We need to have a
we need to have a
101 with what you're talking about.
10 a.m. to noon.
The Southern Tales collection isn't just an expression of class, it's an Auburn way of life. Whether it's a long day on the lake with your closest friend or cheering for the best team in the SEC, we aim to provide comfortable, quality clothing fit for any occasion. God, family, and football are the three things we hold closest. And we hope to share these things through our product line with the people we love the most, our Auburn family. SouthernTalesCollection.com. Southern Tales, not just an expression of class, an Auburn way of life.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Call on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Andy and Randy taking you home here for another 8 or 9 minutes or so. Taking your phone call, still time to get that last phone call in at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on our Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. Just caught up with Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Always enjoy talking to play-by-play guys. They always have a lot to say, and they always have a silky smooth voice. And that's a good thing.
What'd you take from it? When I'm listening in,
they're proud of that stadium and the environment
that has been created.
And 50,000 people. They say you'll be shocked, at how loud it is and how raucous the environment is. And he said, I think you'll come away impressed from that. And I think Kansas State comes into this ball game believing they can win, but understanding that they are outclassed. And they're going to have to play above their heads. They're going to have to get some breaks. They understand that. They come into the game already assuming that that's the case.
With Bill Snyder, he goes away for a few years, ends up coming back, and the program ends up back in pretty good situation. How in the world, if you have a great atmosphere like we'll see Thursday night in Manhattan, Kansas, and they've got a winning tradition all the way back to the early 90s. I remember, them playing for a Big 8 championship in maybe 93, somewhere around that. Why is Bill Snyder the only glue that can keep this thing together? Your thoughts?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think he's that good of a coach. I think he's a brilliant offensive mind as far as and he knows how to build a program. Like you said, when he came to Kansas State in 1989, they were labeled by Sports Illustrated as the worst program in college football. They had been to one bowl game in 93 years. Okay, they've been to 15 since Bill Snyder's been there. Just unbelievable that they were on a 27-game winless streak when he took the job in 1989. They were bad. Okay, they had 2 winning seasons in 34 years. They were bad, and he turned them around. Now, why? I don't know. Some guys are just better at building programs, and I remember in the 90s the knock always was, well, they have an easy schedule. They always have a ton of cupcakes, and that's true. But when you're that awful, you got to build confidence, and you got to start, somewhere. And I think that's what they did. And I think that they're there for a time there in the mid-'90s. They won 11 games, like 4 seasons in a row.
Let's spin it around just quickly. I know we got only 3 minutes left here in the program. Is it just this easy to pile on the NFL right now? Because if one thing can go wrong, PR-wise, it seems like everything's going wrong for the NFL right now.
Yeah, and it's all revolving around domestic violence.
Isn't it odd?
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's not odd.
Maybe it's just now that the spotlight is being shined on it. It's always been there. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, you talk about the worst possible time for this Adrian Peterson thing. And look, we can talk about that. And, if you want to call in tomorrow, we can talk a little bit about that some more, about this Adrian Peterson situation. I know, did he go too far? Yes. I mean, but all these people that are so outraged and are treating this like it's, I don't know. You're a young father. You're going to have to discipline your child at some point. in the future. I mean, how do you feel about it? I know that, I don't. Maybe it is a code. Maybe it is a Southern thing. But I was spanked or whipped with a belt when I did things wrong as a child. That was the way discipline was administered. Now, I think my dad even got after my brother with a hose pipe one time. Those things that happened back in the day. Maybe we are too evolved for that now. How do you feel about it?
It's a good question. He's 4 years old. If he was a little older, I think I'd feel totally different than I do now. But he's 4, and he looks whooped up pretty good to me. So I don't know if he took it a little bit overboard. But who makes that decision on what's overboard? I mean, he didn't long-term injure the kid. I mean, the kid's probably going to be okay. So someone that's out there that understands these situations a little better than myself may have to say it. But that's where I lean to. I mean, the first thing I say is he's 4. I got a 4-year-old nephew. And he's a boy, and he is all boy. And you could I got a guy that works with me, and he said, I got a 4-year-old son, and if I wanted to whoop him, I could whoop him just about all day, every day, because he's a little boy. He gets into everything. It's kind of hard to train him at that level or at that age. So we'll bring that up tomorrow, Andy, because I think it is a good topic. I agree with where you are a little bit, but I also agree that I think I do agree with where you are because it's a parent's decision, isn't it? A little bit.
When do you come to the point to where the state has to get involved? And I don't know where that line is.
I really don't.
I mean, but there is a line.
Well, maybe we'll throw that out as the question of the day tomorrow. We'll talk about Auburn and Kansas State also. We're going to lead that in up to the prediction this week is Auburn and Kansas State. Corey Grant rushing yards will be the tiebreaker.
And I think Wayne Dickens is going to join us tomorrow afternoon on SportsCall. So really looking forward to that as well. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate all of you out there listening and all of you that called in today. For Randy Lee, I am Andy Graham. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.